Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Ariel Mirano, and this is my YouTube channel, Empowering Teachers Worldwide. Today, I would like to share with you some grammar games that are fun and will help your students deal with grammar. Because we can teach students the rules, but we cannot make them learn the rules. And there are many reasons for this. Sometimes students may simply not understand the rules, especially younger students. They may have trouble understanding grammatical terms like past participle and with concepts like indefinite past time or future in the past. Research suggests that the learning of some grammatical structures follows a predetermined order. So the fact that students seem to resist, between inverted commas, learning grammar may simply be due to the fact that they are not ready yet for that grammar. Also, we need to understand that there might be a considerable time lag between understanding grammar structures and being able to produce them accurately. In one form or another, grammar practice is an essential part of language learning. Traditional exercises, such as fill in the blank exercises, play a key role in cementing knowledge, but they can quickly become tedious for students. Even more significantly, they often do little to build confidence when it comes to oral production of new language structures. Thankfully, carefully chosen English grammar games can address both these issues. Not only do they help refresh and re-engage your classes, they bridge the gap between those formulaic activities and more unstructured conversation. The goal is to reach a point when students can produce grammar without consciously thinking about it, and focusing attention on game while requiring use of the target language is a great way to do this. They increase familiarity and lower student inhibitions related to an instruction, and often practice producing language at speed as well. But we need to remember a few things. Grammar games must have some features. These are games must-haves. They must have a purpose, that is, they have a clear learning objective. So make sure that the grammar or the activity, the game or the activity aligns with specific language learning objectives, such as practicing a particular grammar point, expanding vocabulary, or improving communicative skills. And it should also have contextual relevance. Connect the purpose of the game to real-life situations or scenarios, making the language used meaningful and applicable. The second one is the have fun factor. Design activities that inherently appeal to learners' interests and preferences, creating an enjoyable and engaging learning experience. And also introduce a variety of games to cater for different learning styles and preferences, thus keeping the learning environment fresh and exciting. Also, provide a challenge for learners. Strike a balance between making the activity challenging to stimulate critical thinking, but not so difficult that it becomes frustrating. And also consider designing games that allow for incremental challenges, gradually increasing the complexity as students gain confidence and proficiency. Involve all students. Ensure that the game is structured to involve every student in the classroom, promoting a sense of inclusivity and active participation, and also incorporate both individual and group activities to foster collaboration and peer interaction. Allow for creativity. Include activities that encourage students to express themselves creatively, such as storytelling, role-playing, or creating their own content. Design games with room for diverse solution, fostering individual expression and originality. Also, use games that encourage higher order thinking skills, such as problem solving. Integrate activities that require students to analyze, synthesize information, solve problems, because this promotes cognitive skills beyond rote memorization. Make them relevant to the topic that you are teaching. Align games with the current language learning theme, ensuring that the activities reinforce and complement the content covered in a regular lesson. And also connect the game to the real world, to real world language use, emphasizing practical application of language skills. And last but not least, involve the 4 C's: creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. Design activities that encourage creative expression and thinking outside the box. Foster teamwork through group-based tasks that require communication and cooperation. Emphasize activities that enhance verbal and written communication skills. And incorporate challenges that stimulate analytical thinking and problem-solving skills. By consciously integrating these elements, we create a holistic and effective language learning experience that not only engages students, but also promotes a deeper understanding and mastery of the language. So let's have a look at a simple toolkit with some activities at different levels that you can use. For example, a typical one, a traditional one, Simon Says. But you all know how to work with Simon Says, how to play Simon Says in the classroom. But let's give it a twist. And so, instead of playing it in the traditional way, with just actions, that is, Simon says, stand up, Simon gives instructions with specific grammar points. For example, Simon says, jump 3 times. So, or jump once, or jump twice. Simon says, move your arms fastly. And so students have to decide if the order is right or wrong. So they should also, that is, they not only follow the instructions, they should also decide if the instruction is correct or not. If the instruction is not correctly framed, then they don't move and they say wrong, and they correct the instruction. You can also use 2 truths and a lie. This is another game that you can tailor to different types of grammar. You can base the game on sentences using the present simple, the past simple, the present perfect, or used to. But a particular focus is on questions in the present simple or the past simple. For example, each student writes 3 sentences about their life in the chosen tense, 2 of which are true and 1 is a lie. The student then, all the students take turns presenting their sentences to the class, pretending that all 3 are true, and they invent information about the lie. And the classmates have to ask them questions about each statement to try and figure out which one the lie is. Note that if the statements are experiences in the present perfect, for example, I have eaten artichokes, the questions will use the past simple to ask about the specific time the experience was had. For example, when did you eat the artichokes? Another one is shoot for points. We often need to review things that are not fun, like the past simple of the past participle of the regular verbs. So instead of having a traditional or a classical Q&A, we can use a large container, for example, a waste paper basket. You give students a ball and you have them shoot for points. But there's a catch. You will ask them a question in the past simple, and they will have to remember the past correctly in order to earn the chance to shoot. Give them 10 points for scoring or 5 if they miss, because at least they answered the question correctly. You can vary this type of game, whether you use large balls or small ones, or even a piece of paper. You can also use this other game, change chairs. It's really fun. And you can use this with beginner or intermediate classes. It requires students to move quickly, so it's perhaps most suited to children and teenagers. And perhaps if you have a very large class, it's difficult to play, but you can always take the children to the yard, to the schoolyard, and play the game there. So, players sit in a circle of chairs facing inwards, while one person stands in the middle, like you see in the picture. The person in the middle says a sentence starting with, change chairs if. For example, change chairs if you have a sister. Change chairs if you're wearing jeans. Change chairs if you don't like broccoli. If you're wearing a watch. If that sentence is true for a student, they have to stand up and move to another chair, while the person in the middle also has to try and sit down. And the student left standing up has to provide the next sentence. The great thing about this game is the flexibility, because you can use it to practice present simple, continuous, past simple, present perfect. Perhaps the present simple and the present continuous versions are most suited to kids or low-level students that are just familiarizing themselves with the tense, because the structure is very repetitive. Also, present simple clauses could cover basic personal information. Change chairs if you have a sister, if you have brown eyes, likes and dislikes, hobbies. The present continuous usually works best with clothes and accessories if you are wearing jeans or a watch. The past simple and present perfect, on the other hand, will allow students to practice employing those verb forms, talking about completed actions in the past. Suppose, change chairs if you ate rice yesterday, yes? Or if you have gone surfing. Then you can use the traditional bingo, but with a twist. You can create bingo cards with pictures or simple words related to the target grammar. For example, greetings, family members, numbers. Instead of calling out words, show pictures or say simple sentences with a missing word or phrase. For example, good morning, and it could be good morning, Dad. Students have to mark the picture or the word that completes the sentence correctly. And the first student, as we play bingo, the first student to complete a row, a column, or a diagonal wins. Okay, then we have board games, different types of board games. So the rules are very simple. You tell the students, you give them a board game, you create it, or you can also download a board game from the internet. So the grammar, you make the grammar rules clear to the students. They place the counters on start and throw the dice. And the player with the highest number begins the game. Depending on the square they land on, they have to answer questions. If the answer is correct, they can stay on the square. If it's wrong, they have to go back to the square they were before. And the one with the highest points wins. And the point system could be, for example, for tenses, for correct tenses, 4 points, for correct parts of speech, 3 points, for pronouns, 2 points, for articles, 1 point. They can get 2 extra points if they are the first that reach the finish line. And you can use the markers to write the points they got on a scorecard. Mm. Also, you have magic words. Mm. There are 8 word classes or parts of speech: verbs, adverbs, conjunctions, nouns, determiners, adjectives, prepositions, and pronouns. However, it's best not to think about a word by its word class. So, word classes are flexible and sometimes words can be made to work in different ways. So, it's best to ask, how is the word working in the sentence? Yes? For example, if we say, a fast runner won the race, fast is used as an adjective to describe a noun. She ran fast. It's an adverb that modifies a verb. So, with this game, you are going to ask the students to think about how words can be used in different ways to different effects. So ask students to select a word from their reading book or give them a list of key vocabulary words you would like them to work with. And have them write the word here in the box. Then you tell them to become a magician and see what they can turn this word into. Warn them that they are not going to be able to fill every box for every word, right? Then you have a sentence builder. This is to practice simple sentence structures and expand vocabulary. All you need is index cards, markers or crayons or pens, a stack of cards with function words for each team. So instead of having this, or you may have them decorated if you wish, you have the function words or words or structures. So you provide each student with an index card and markers or crayons. On each card, they write a simple sentence using basic grammar structures and familiar vocabulary. For example, they can write a sentence like, I am a student, I play soccer, the sky is blue. Divide the class into 2 teams, and you have the first student from each team take turns choosing a sentence card from their stack. The student reads the sentence aloud and asks their team to choose a card from the second stack, the cards with the functions. The team will have to add a new word or phrase to the sentence depending on the function card they picked. For example, the student might read the sentence, I play soccer. They take a function word and they have to add very well. The first team to correct and expand all their sentences wins. And the last one is the story building dice. You can create dice with different parts of speech or sentence components, such as these, noun, verb, preposition, adjective, etc., and a token. The token will allow the students to add any other word they need. So in small groups, they take turns rolling the dice and using the words or the components to construct sentences. And they can then combine their sentences to create collaborative stories. Encourage creativity and teamwork throughout the process. So this is it for today. Thank you very much for your attention, and leave a comment if you wish here, or send me a message. And if you wish, you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. You click on the bell so that you are updated every time I upload a video, or you can visit my blog in my website anieltamirano.com, and there you can subscribe to my newsletter or find my blog, and you can find more resources and ideas. So this is all for the time being. Bye bye till the next one.